let's talk about that feeling. You know the one, that fried, scattered, can't focus on anything feeling? Well, today we are diving deep into why our brains feel so scrambled, and more importantly, we're going to lay out a plan to get your focus back.
Oh, I know you know this one. You grab your phone for one simple thing, maybe to check the time, and then, poof, 15 minutes are gone. You're deep in some random feed and you've completely forgotten why you even picked up your phone. If that sounds familiar, it's not you. It's not a lack of willpower. It's something else entirely. Because the truth is, I know that sounds super dramatic, right? But it's actually pretty accurate. There's a whole economy built around capturing and holding on to your attention. And our technology is designed literally from the ground up to keep it. So how does this whole hijacking thing actually work?
Okay, so before we can even think about fixing the problem, we have to understand the mechanism behind it. And again, this isn't about you being weak. It's about a really powerful psychological trigger that's being used to keep us all scrolling. This right here, this is the secret sauce. It's not the reward that gets you hooked. It's the unpredictability of it. Think about a slot machine. You pull the lever because you might win. It's the maybe that's so addictive. If you knew you'd get a new message every single time you checked your phone, honestly, it would get boring. But because you never know what you're going to find, a like, a comment, some juicy piece of news, you just keep checking and checking. And if you think this sounds familiar, you're absolutely right. It's basically a high-tech version of an experiment from the 1950s. A psychologist named B.F. Skinner found that a rat in a box will press a lever obsessively if it dispenses a food pellet at random intervals. Well, we're the rat, the phone is our box, and scrolling or refreshing, that's our lever. We just keep tapping, hoping for that next little digital pellet. And that's the bottom line. Our brains are ancient, you know? They evolved to pay very close attention to things that are unpredictable. Because back in the day, that could be the difference between finding food and becoming food. But today, that same survival wiring gets turned against us, creating this compulsive cycle that just leaves us feeling totally drained and distracted. So the big question is, how do we break out of it? All right, so knowing the problem is a huge step. But now for the good part, the solution. We're going to call it the information diet. This is your game plan for retraining your brain and actually taking back control of your own attention. It's a pretty straightforward three-step process. First, you just have to start recognizing when you're caught in that mindless scrolling loop. Step 2, and I gotta tell you, this is the hardest one for most of us. You have to learn to embrace boredom. Seriously. And third, you use that time you've reclaimed to actually recharge and reconnect with things that matter. And let's be super clear about something. This isn't about smashing your phone with a hammer and moving to a cabin in the woods. Nope. The goal is to shift your relationship with technology, to go from just mindlessly reacting to it to using it intentionally, so you're in the driver's seat, not the algorithm. Think about it. We fill every single micro moment, don't we? Standing in line for coffee, waiting for an elevator, every little gap is immediately filled with the phone. We've basically engineered boredom out of our lives. But it turns out our brains desperately need those empty moments. They need that nothingness. Right, so this is crucial. Boredom is not wasted time. It is a vital, productive state for your brain. It's when your brain gets to recharge its batteries. It's when it starts making these new, creative connections between ideas you've been thinking about. And it's also how your brain solidifies memories, moving them from short-term to long-term. So being bored is actually one of the most productive things you can do. So here's the challenge. The next time you're standing around and you feel that twitch, that automatic reflex to reach for your phone, just don't. See what happens. Let your mind wander. Stare out the window. Just be. Because you really never know what amazing idea is just sitting there, waiting for you to finally give it the quiet space it needs to show up.